Hi again, everybody. This video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous, and here's her story. Hi, Ali. I made a donation for your channel and really enjoy your videos. You give some of the best and most honest and sometimes brutal advice people need. I really need some quick advice and will apologize if this letter is long. I want to remain anonymous because I'm still waiting on my divorce to go through. It's been a year and a half, and I've been to court 3 times over custody of my daughter. I may hear a decision this week of what the judge decides. My ex and I were only married 2 years, and like most people, I was very fooled during our courtship and ignored red flags because my ex is good looking and charming and said all the right things until we were married. This was my second marriage, and I honestly just jumped into something too quick. I have 2 sons from a previous marriage, and he was awesome to them up until our marriage. I think he saw me as a possession after that and started taking off his mask with me and my kids. I got pregnant, and that whole first year was awful. The belittling and control of me and my kids was getting worse and worse. I found out through my pregnancy my daughter's heart didn't form completely, so she didn't have great odds of making it. My emotions and my emotions and thought went towards my baby, and I tried to ignore my husband and his behavior. I had to travel 10 hours to a bigger hospital and wait for her to be born. They didn't think she would make it, so we ended up 2,000 miles away in Boston at the best heart hospital. She is my miracle baby and went through heart procedures and had a heart surgery at a week old and has been mostly great ever since. My ex got even worse the next year. He worked out of state, so we saw him on weekends, and I usually had to make him leave because he just always had my sons crying because they basically couldn't even breathe right in his eyes. He didn't help whatsoever with finances. I begged him to help me even though I was well off and have a great job. It was ridiculous. He looked at me like a meal ticket. I paid every single bill. He made just as good money, and I have no idea where it would all go. I might be throwing this out here, but you only see him on weekends and he works. You sure you never see a dime of his money? Sounds like he has a second family. Now, I might be crazy. I might be way off. But whatever he's doing during the week, whether it's a second family or a girlfriend or something else is going on. If I asked, I got a long, detailed story about all the made-up expense he has. I knew he was lying because he had no house payment, no utilities. He lived for free out of a hotel his company paid for. He basically just bought food and gas. He went to bars and casinos every night while I had 3 kids and all the adult responsibilities. He would come home and argue how he needs to have his buddies over to drink because he's worked his ass off. He never helped me with the baby, ever. Fast forward a year, and I was so fed up with him and his awful family who are all the same. He came home my 30th birthday weekend and saw gifts and flowers on the table. My son's dad had taken them to pick me out gifts like he always does, but I guess since our relationship had gotten so bad, he decided it was unacceptable now. My ex-husband shouldn't be buying me things. The day before, my boys had their biggest smile on their faces walking up to the door with this stuff. I walked off and came back and realized he had thrown it all in the trash and walked the garbage outside before I could stop him. This was the last straw. Ever since I quit participating in his never-ending cycles of abuse, he became mute and he started accusing me of affairs and anything he could think of. Sweetie, he's fucking around on you. Okay? He's in a hotel Monday through Friday, comes home, drinks. Come on. Come on, there's something going on. We started counseling, and the therapist picked up on him quick and referred him to battery intervention after I said he had bruised my son's arm because he said my son was swinging in his lane on a swing set and twisted his arm as punishment. I knew his rage was getting worse, and I had no idea he started physical abuse along with the extreme emotional abuse. I kicked him out the next day. My counselor called CPS and I filed for divorce. He got minimal visitation on my daughter and no overnights the last year. He actually claimed I was the abusive one in court. I never so much as raised my voice to him. He claimed I had this long affair with my ex-husband who was very quiet and a nice guy. It's been a nightmare. We're at the end and court went better than expected. Every lying witness he had just made him look worse. The judge called it off before we were done as he was sick of listening to it. I had my I had my daughter appointed guardian at ad litem, so that one more person, so that would be one more person looking after her safety. That's a bad idea. That is a bad idea. You do not want the state involved whatsoever. You do not want that. The attorneys submitted the letters to the judge as their final arguments, and we've been waiting the decision. I was in shock to read the ad litem's thoughts. After hearing in court how my ex didn't work for 6 months, didn't pay child support except when he felt like it, didn't show up for numerous visits, blew over 1K in a 5-day in 1K in a casino 5 days after saying he had no money for my daughter in court. So they set child support as a bare minimum. My ex stalked me for the last 3 years and took pictures of basically just me doing nothing. My ex asked for alimony, etc., etc., etc. Just anything and everything that could make the guy look like a deadbeat. Now the ad litem suggests that we have my daughter every other weekend, and if he attends anger management. What the fuck? She's 2. My ex said her heart defects are cured. The biggest lies I've ever heard. He obviously knows nothing about congenital heart defects and doesn't care. The ad litem said that it's evident we both love her and want her to be taken care of. What the fuck? I'm the only one she's been around. He's paid a whopping $15 for her medical. Ever. Ever. It's mind-blowing. I know the judge thinks differently and he was pretty mad in court and saw what a deadbeat this guy is. But is it enough? Will they give any deadbeat parent with a pulse standard visitation as long as they pretend to want their kid? He works 6 hours away. Nothing makes sense. My ex told me if I ever left him, then it would be hell, and it's not like it is with my first husband. Well, he's proven that so far. That I'm on pins and needles, waiting to know if I have to hand my daughter over when she's never been away from me overnight. He has had her 12 hours a month right now. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for kids being with their dad if they're a good dad. My first husband has his standard, but he sees the kids anytime he wants. We do not go by a schedule. I get criticized and told we're weird because we get along, but I don't care. I do what is best for my kids regardless of what rumors people start. But it's a different story with my ex. He only wants to take my daughter to hurt me. I thought I had won in court and my ex was exposed. The judge was even said he's disgusted by him. Then this ad litem shot me in the back. His opinion should weigh the most on the judge's mind, but I'm hoping it doesn't. Any advice would be appreciated. Sorry if this is confusing. Did my narc manipulate this guy and cry and confuse him into thinking he was a good dad? Or do they just automatically get standard visitation no matter what? He claimed I made a huge deal out of something that wasn't abuse. I lived with the guy. I knew what road he was headed down. I'm not stupid and I'm not sticking around for worse. Sadly, I now see why abused women stick around until their kids turn 18 just to protect them. My ex wasn't a dad until I filed, and boom. Now suddenly he's the best dad in the world and wants her. As soon as I said I'd lied him, I said, look out, because they are brutal. They can be brutal. They can be idiots. They get involved where they shouldn't. Look, the way I see it, or the way I understand it, look, the ad litem's job is to make sure that the child sees both parents. That's their job. any mediator. However, I've heard of judges going against ad litems all the time, especially since it was he was already been criticized in court. Look, whether he's took an active part or not, as long as he's saying he does now, the court's going to give him the benefit of the doubt unless there's serious signs of physical abuse. Now, it sounds like there was some kind of intervention class with him as a precaution from the arm twisting on the swing. You know, I could see how the court, and I'm not saying I agree with it or disagree with it, but I could see the court saying, oh, well, it might have been on a swing, something. It could happen. That could be their positioning on it. Was there ever outright physical beatings or abuse? No, but this was a preventative measure. Could he have charmed the ad litem? Sure. But the ad litem already wants to see the child have visitation with both parents. Now, in his case, living 6 hours away, gambling, I would have a hard time thinking that this judge is just going to go along based on the testimony of the ad litem. But you don't know. Like, here's the problem with family court. You just don't know what they're going to do. They don't know what they're going. You don't know what they're going to do. I wish I could give you better advice because, I mean, you're looking for what I think. I don't know. I think the judge, based on the testimony he heard, now the ad litem can talk to the father. The judge saw the testimony, and you said he called him out. So unless the ad litem was sitting in court and is going to address all the lies and stuff in court, I would think the judge is going to side with you. But you don't know. It's family court. You just don't know. At worst, he's going to get minimal visitation every other weekend, 2 weeks in the summer. At worst. Not going to be some kind of 50-50 split, that's for goddamn sure. At the very least, if all he gets is the minimal visitation, you're going to have to go along with it because it's court ordered. You're going to have to at least give him the opportunity to prove that he wants to be your father. Now, if you're getting her back dirty and all that, then you can address it then. I've told you a million times, narcissism is nearly impossible to prove in family court or divorce court. You have to have hard physical proof of actual abuse. I understand that the therapist sent him, but it was preventative. And something like that could be explained away, and he could be given the benefit of the doubt because it is easy to grab a kid and bruise him, or it can happen legitimately. Is that what I think happened? No, I think he was being an asshole. But I'm taking it from the court's perspective of trying to be impartial. So what I would suggest to you, go in there expecting he'll get minimum visitation, because I don't think he's going to get any more than that. And if he gets less, if you won, and if that's what he gets, that's what you expect. You're going to have to give him the opportunity to prove himself, but a very, very zero tolerance. You see anything, you file a court injunction and you reopen it. But they might keep it as is. You just don't know. So, thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your question and your story. I really appreciate it. I wish I could have given you more definitive stuff, but I hope this at least gives you an idea or some ideas of what to do going forward. So good luck, and let me know. Let me know what happens. Thank you for everybody watching. Please leave any advice or opinions in the comments section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a narcissist you'd like to expose or a topic you'd like me to cover, you know what to do with the PayPal and my email link in the description box. I'll have the video right back to you. This is Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon.